Hello and welcome back to part 2 of chapter 1 of this walkthrough slash commentary video of Jade Empire. And here is where we left off. A lovely conversation between Gao and Dawnstar.
There is talk of approaching bandits and you bother me with unsubtle advances. How very like you, Gao. No doubt a tactic learned from your criminal father.
I honestly want to know what that would look like. Was his dad just like, hey man, you're struggling with the ladies, you gotta get them when they're vulnerable, like when the whole town is in danger. Okay, anyway, I hope I am interrupting.
You step beyond your station. She and I are discussing her future.
Thank you, Gao, but I'll pick my own poison. He's Gao the Lesser in all respects. I thought Master Li allowed him to stay so that the influence of the father could be countered, but Gao never learns.
I think Gao the Lesser and Master Li's whole relationship and all their interactions are the most obvious part of his whole lie because he commands respect, even though he pretends, I think, to be just this simple teacher. He clearly is more than that, and people pick up on it, but not Gao.
Master Li was concerned that this would interrupt your training. His respect for your potential is just so absolute. Has he told you any more about your future?
We'll talk more about Gao the Greater and the Lesser later, I'm sure. Moving on, I think it's really interesting she brings this up. Like, what did Master Li, vent about how mad he was that he wasn't able to finish our conversation right then and there? Anyway, we're not going to do that. We're going to stop talking to Dawnstar. We're going to come over here because I do think timing is kind of important. You can always talk to her later about her ability. I just noticed that when I don't talk to her, I end up saving someone's life later on, and that gives you points, so that's cool.
Why would bandits come here to Two Rivers?
Heavens, no! I hate that the game makes you comment on how he speaks. It just feels problematic to me, but whatever. Anyway, go ahead and pick up this last scroll and then we can head back. Remember to save. It will not always autosave for you. Also, I said timing is important, but you can totally go back over here and go heal yourself because dying is not fun. This is when I try to give fighting advice. Throw yourself into your attacks. Even if you miss those first 2 hits, that 3rd hit is worth getting. Also, leap out of the way if you don't have great visibility or you just don't feel like you want to be that close to someone right now. Do that. Here you see me using Heavenly Wave to slow down multiple enemies so I can do some one-on-one. Showing my favorite way to deal with someone who has their block up. And then throwing yourself at an enemy can knock them off balance, which is nice. And here's the guy I was talking about whose life you save if you get the timing right. And he asks you to go get his son, which we'll do that in a moment. Another great way to stay alive is when, doing a big attack to break down a barrier, go into focus mode so that, time slows down a bit. And they're less likely to just bring down their block and stab you while you're attacking them. So that's my advice on that. Next up, we're going to grab this silver. You can return it to that guy that ran away later, but you could also just not do that. Anyway, I'm just going to go over here and replenish my focus because we're going to be going to the beach and you will want to be at your best.
Yet another village with no purpose. I will replenish our supplies and continue my search elsewhere. You will all, of course, have to die.
Bit of advice, listen to Dawnstar's cannon fire warnings.
Cannon fire
Here's an example of how you can lose a lot of health really fast. They just kicked me twice. And that's when you back up. And when healing, it's tempting to want to heal yourself all the way. I recommend leaving at least a little bit in there because you can use it for so many things like magic attacks and strengthening your regular attacks, and you have no idea what's going to happen in the next 2 seconds. So just keep a little bit in there. Like, it actually might be a good thing for you to keep your health low because you might get a health bubble, but not a chi bubble, right? So,
What are you? Your skills are more than this tiny village warrants. But I also see something strange, an oddity. You could be an anomaly or a sign of who I seek. A further test is needed. These mercenaries are not the only threat I command.
one thing this game is really good at is introducing new characters and enemies. So this one, he looks like he is insanely powerful, and you're not going to run into Lotus Assassins that do similar stuff like this, thankfully. I am not complaining, though. Teleporting, ghost summoning enemies sound awful. I just think that's an interesting, like, common theme I've seen throughout this game is like each introduction kind of sets up each character as like super badass, and at the end of the day, they're kind of like meh in reality. Like, imagine if Master Lee like pulled this move on you in the final battle. Like, what is this? Terrifying. That's what it is. Terrifying.
Well fought, my student, but I cannot risk you against a foe like this yet.
Your search is over, assassin, but no one will hear of your success.
He takes him down so fast, kind of similar to how he takes you down in the end, honestly. But like, that is too OP. That is an overpowered character. And that's that is who I have to fight in the end. We got a long ways to go, huh? Anyway, I'm gonna try and head on out of here, but this is like the first time you get to level up, I think. And personally, I'd recommend not leveling up your weapon because you're probably gonna get a better weapon later on anyway. For now, I just recommend leveling up your basic attack thing, and whatever points you have left over, save them. And with that, I'm off. Bye.